The second thing that I would have young black boys repeat, and I do this when I speak to them, and this is something I think is very important based on the situation we're dealing with young black men, is the idea of being a leader. You are a leader. So I think getting boys to say to themselves, I am a leader and not a follower, is very important. I think saying that all the time on a regular basis is very important. These mantras matter because every single time they listen to a hip-hop song that says, I want to fuck every bitch and kill every nigga, and they repeat that to themselves over and over and over again, guess what? Eventually they're out trying to fuck every bitch and kill every nigga. Not all of them, but many of them are. Now, I hate using that language, but that's the language that they use in these hip-hop songs, so I think there's no point in me beating around the bush on this. So I think teaching boys to be leaders is very important because they have to be stronger than the psychological forces that are designed to oppress them. You can compare it to hot and cold water. If you mix hot and cold water together, is the water going to be hot or is it going to be cold? Which one? Think about that question for a second. Well, if you're smart, you know that the answer is it depends. If the hot water is stronger than the cold water, if there's more hot water than there is cold water, then the water will be warm or maybe even hot. But if the cold water outweighs the hot water, if there's a drop of hot and a gallon of cold, then the water's going to stay cold. So you have to teach your child spiritually to be a gallon of hot water against a drop of cold water. Your child's spirit of leadership must be developed to the point where it is virtually impenetrable. That when they walk in a room full of other people who are thinking in a completely different way, that it is those people who have their thinking changed because they interacted with your child versus your child having his or her thinking change because of where they were. I think that's really important because what happens in many cases, unfortunately, is that commercialized hip-hop culture, and I'm not talking about all hip-hop music, because as you know, a lot of hip-hop music is very good, very powerful, very progressive. But the power of hip-hop has been hijacked by these big corporations that don't give a damn about your kids, and they are out here spreading the most toxic messages imaginable, and I don't believe it's by accident. I believe it is to fill up the penitentiaries to get black men to want to engage in illegal behavior. I do believe that there might be a sinister motive behind this. This music creates what I call a cultural tornado, where basically even when your son goes out of that house and he wants to make good decisions and he wants to do the right things, there are so many forces against him that it is damn near impossible for him to emerge victorious. So he has to be strong. He has to be a leader. He has to know who he is, what he's about, and where he's going. Because if you don't know who you are, there's always somebody right there to tell you to be something else. So when you send your son out that door, you tell him to remind himself, I am a leader, not a follower. Peer pressure has gotten tens of thousands of black men killed. So do not allow your child to be somebody who is easily affected by peer pressure.
This one's for